My name is Salah Hassan. I'm a professor of strategic brand management at the George Washington University School of Business, and I will be your host for this segment of Brand Talk. Brand Talk is not intended to be an interview. Rather, Brand Talk is a conversation with senior executives and brand managers on branding strategies and brand management best practices that are facing us today. This segment of Brand Talk is related to our client-based learning and research initiative. I am delighted to introduce Allison Petschauer, who is a senior brand manager at EAS, a division of Abbott Nutrition. Abbott is a world leader in global healthcare. Welcome to George Washington University, and Allison, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
There are a lot of major changes that are sweeping our market today. Some of these changes include multi-channel, social media. How are these changes affecting brand management decisions? As a senior brand manager, what are some of the latest trends, and how are you addressing these challenges, and how are you developing innovative ways to face up with these challenges?
Well, I believe that it all starts with creating a strong brand identity. A brand really needs to understand who they are and what they want to accomplish. And I would say that the changing dynamics that you're talking about with the digital landscape, with social, with e-commerce, et cetera, really has led to this overarching concept that there are multiple consumer touch points that brands have the opportunity to engage with consumers along their journey and along the way of them thinking about buying a product up until they do buy a product. So I would say that there's this connection with the brand that we need to create from a pre, during, and post-purchase experience, which is different from the way that it was back in the past, where maybe the core to marketing was driving that decision at shelf. Now you have to leverage multiple tools and multiple touch points to engage with the consumer with your brand or your product or your service.
Great. Now, brand strategy, I always define it as a connector between corporate strategy and marketing strategy. And there have been a lot of debate going on, and there are different models on where the brand strategy team should be housed. Should the brand strategy team be housed in the corporate hierarchy under corporate strategy, as in the case of Marriott, or should it be housed under the marketing team, as oftentimes the case in a lot of the consumer packaged goods, as in P&G model? What are your views on that, and where is it now at EAS?
At EAS. So honestly, I feel that it should be housed under both corporate strategy and with the individual brand teams. From a corporate strategy perspective, it's important for them to lay out the purpose of the organization as a whole and the ultimate strategy for the company. This is extremely important in large organizations that have multiple product lines or maybe many divisions or business units, and just how do you think about unifying all the business units into one solid strategy for the company. But on the flip side, you absolutely need to have strategists on the individual brands so that they are creating strategy, positioning, and ultimately the execution that brings it all together. Ultimately, like I said, I think everybody owns strategy, and it's just important for the product line strategy to ladder up and ladder down with the overall corporate strategy objectives.
A lot of companies are really struggling in terms of how to dominate that high growth millennial consumer segment, and how to really appeal to them. They are very different than previous generations. One of the key issues that have been always raised based on research on the millennials, that well-being is very important to them. How is the athletic well-being is being monitored, and how is EAS is really developing a focus on the well-being of the athlete in an attempt of reaching that broader segment, growth segment of the millennials?
An example of a well-being initiative for EAS Sports Nutrition is a program that we have called Body for Life. The Body for Life program basically is offered annually from EAS Sports Nutrition, and its ultimate goal is to help athletes achieve a healthy transformational objective. So it's the unique part about this program actually is that it's a 12-week program, and it's not only solely focused on physical goals and exercise tips and getting fit, but it's a comprehensive strategy to include mind, body, and soul into the entire program so that athletes can achieve their goal. There are social components to this as well. We've created a community where athletes can share their experiences of success and their challenges along the way in the Body for Life program.
Throughout their journey.
Yes, throughout their journey, exactly. They're sharing and then providing tips to one another. And then there's a rewards program at the end of it too. There's a cash prize available, like free product, etc., if you perform well within your age division.
So well-being is really targeted as part of your branding efforts and integrated within a CSR initiative. Dovetailing on that, authenticity also is becoming of authenticity of brand messaging are becoming of major concern of a lot of the millennial athletes. So how do you take that a step further in building the messaging around the well-being initiative and believability of the message? So the message, the brand message, will be as truthful, as authentic, as believable, that the millennial athlete will truly believe that this is the brand for me. How do you manage your brand signaling and communications around that anchor of authentic brand?
Well, the EAS team is super passionate about sports nutrition. We are dedicated and competitive in nature. Most of us are athletes ourselves. We have a lot of not only strength training athletes, but endurance athletes as well. And I think that our team really shares that passion and dedication that our consumers have in the marketplace, being an athlete themselves. So we know how much hard work it takes to put into the physical efforts of becoming a really great athlete. And I think behind closed doors, we are always working on high quality, superior nutrition to help you become the best athlete you can possibly be. Our products are based in science, they are innovative, and we make sure that they have the right ingredients that will give the incremental performance benefit to the athletes. So ultimately, we want to have the burden of working on the best nutrition for you as an athlete so that you can focus on the physical aspects, bringing them together to become the best athlete you can be.
So science-based nutrition is basically the core of the authenticity message that unifies basically all
the EAS products.
brands.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, having the right level of ingredients to give you the right performance benefit. And then also, I think the authenticity has to do with just being transparent with our consumers about what ingredients are in the product and what benefit you should expect to achieve from each of our products as well.
Allison, as a brand management professional, what is your advice to our MBAs as they embark on developing a career on brand management? Particularly, it will interest you to know that we recently launched basically a graduate MBA certificate on marketing and brand management that will be basically launched effective this fall semester. What is the best strategy for the students to go about launching their career as brand managers?
brand management is such a fun and rewarding career choice. I just really have a ton of passion for marketing, and I feel that it's a great experience that no day in business is ever the same. You have multiple successes and challenges to deal with on a daily basis, and it just makes it a very fun category to be in when it comes to brand management. My advice to students is, number one, getting a solid education, as you had mentioned, really getting that MBA under their belt. It's great to hear that you have a certificate in brand management and they can, focus in on those brand management skills, but that comprehensive MBA will really help them in two reasons. One, just being more competitive in the hiring process, but also just giving them that comprehensive business experience to incorporate at any company in any role that they choose in the future. My second piece of advice is just to really have a lot of passion for what you do. You want to put forth the best effort on a day-to-day basis, and you want to have a great enjoyment and fulfillment personally day-to-day as well.
You have worked with some of our teams. We have had a collaborative applied learning project throughout the semester. To what extent that you are comfortable to hire some of these students?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Right. No, definitely I think that there are potential hires. I think the experience I've had this past semester has been extremely great. I think on both ends. It was great bringing the students a real life corporate example of a business challenge that EAS was experiencing, but it was a fantastic way for EAS to actually receive kind of a third-party view of a business analysis with really strong recommendations and strategies that we could absolutely incorporate into our business today. So I think equally it was beneficial for the students and for the EAS team to strengthen some of the marketing tactics that we have in play.
What was your own strategy in launching your own brand management career? And now you are a senior brand manager in a leading corporation.
Yes.
How did you embark on that?
Yes. My approach to my career, honestly, has been variety in brand management. I have positioned myself in various companies of different sizes and on different businesses that were like small, medium, and large, that were supported.
So flexibility.
They were supported with heavy resources, people and financially, versus small resources. People and financially, and I think the broad spectrum of brand management, and I think that putting yourself in all of those different situations really strengthens your brand management skill set. Absolutely. Ultimately the fundamentals are the same in brand management, but applying them to different consumer targets or businesses or addressing different key business challenges really broadened my experience in my career and got me to where I am today.
Great. Well, thank you, Allison, for these thought-provoking ideas. A lot of practical insights for our students are deeply appreciated, and we hope to welcome you in the near future in another segment of Brand Talk.
Great. Thank you.
It's worth mentioning that, as Allison have mentioned, that consumer packaged goods have been cited to be as the logical launching pad for marketing MBAs. As a matter of fact, a recent study by Forbes in 2016 found out that top consumer packaged goods attract most of the MBAs in marketing. As a matter of fact, the study even went further in basically mentioning that branding is a great launching pad and a great accelerator of your career towards the C-suite. So this is good news for a lot of MBAs that are really thinking not only of marketing, but really on having a focus on that very exciting and dynamic field of brand management. Thank you for being with us, and we look forward to another future segment of Brand Talk. Thank you, Allison, again for being with us. We really enjoyed having you, and we hope we continue our cooperation with Abbott Nutrition and EAS.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, great.